Hello and welcome to the Quality Coding stream. Hey, Mud Shark. I saw you sitting there. At least I assumed it was you, because it always is. Always glad to have you. And I'll just greet people who aren't here yet, because folks will watch this after the fact. Hello, my name is John Reed. I am a technical coach and trainer with Industrial Logic. And you never know what's going to happen on this show. Hey, Rick. Good to have you. I never have a concrete plan of like what to talk about. Um, Sometimes there's like, oh, I want to apply this technique or that technique, but more often than not, we just start coding and something comes up, something that I think is interesting. But for those of you who happen to be watching the recording, either on Twitch, if you're watching this after the fact on Twitch, hey, this is my plug to not just follow me, but consider subscribing if you like what you see. If you happen to be watching on the recording after 24 hours and it's available on YouTube, consider subscribing. Well, yeah, that is what it's called, isn't it? I don't know. I'm getting all my terms mixed up now. Like, hit the bell, all the YouTube-y things to express your interest. Without a whole lot else to say off the top of my head, maybe we get back into the code. And since it's only you folks right now, we'll see as other people join in what the questions are. But I think I'll just dive right in. Let's see where we are. We're writing the Swift version of present capturing alert and ready to inline some stuff. Let's see what this is. And all this may be irrelevant now because of how we approach things. Well, let's see. Let's see. Besides, all this is sort of now in the new nifty checklist. So here we go. Hey, more folks have joined. Say hello in the chat. And for you folks who have joined, I'm just launching into coding here, but you can ask me about anything, whether it's related to what I'm doing or unrelated. I will take your questions, field your comments, and let's have fun. So inline. So present view capturing alert. We pulled this over from Objective-C to Swift by breaking it into pieces. This was my nice discovery of the last couple times, is how to gradually convert a longish method. And the nice way I found with trying to move safely is to extract methods and move each of those over, and here they are. But now that they're over here, I don't like them all extracted, and I'm not sure that the extracting even quite made sense. Like the divisions of this may not make any sense. So I'd rather inline them all. If there's something to extract after we inline everything, we can look at that. So let's start from, well, the bottom, I guess. And here, okay, here's my first thing I want to talk about. is the lack of inlining. If anyone from JetBrains happens to be watching this, this is my plea to you. Give us inline. Extract is wonderful. I love it. I love it. And it's probably my second most used refactoring here. Most common would be rename. Extracting a method or a function, wonderful, love it. But here's the thing. There has to be a way to reverse something. In my, I was going to say my boss, and I guess, yeah, he is. He's the CEO of Industrial Logic. In my boss's book, Refactoring to Patterns, one nice thing that he demonstrates about patterns and about refactoring is that for any refactoring, you want to be able to, or for any destination, in his case, a particular pattern, you want to be able to get to it. You also want to be able to move away from it. And so here I've extracted things. Great. Now I want to reverse that. I really need to inline. JetBrains, if you are watching, this is killing you. This is killing your value proposition. App code is simply not, it's getting less and less compelling because Xcode keeps moving forward. I know you are too, because you're playing catch up with regard to Swift features. But you've got to give us inline. I just want to hit a key and have it inline everywhere it's called. Without that, we resort to manual methods. Before I start, always run tests. When stay in green, folks. All right, so tests are green. So let's inline this, and I'll do that by copy and paste. Assuming that there may be problems because of the names of things. We'll see. No, I think I'm lucky because I used animated flag here and animated flag here. So the names, I think, will match. So this is, we'll paste it in and we'll let the compiler tell us. Okay, compiler's happy. The tests are happy. Great. In which case now nothing is calling this. I wish I could safe delete, but instead I will do it like that. All right, so that's an inline. Here we go. Following Arlo's commit notation, this wasn't automated, but it was from a published recipe, namely Martin Fowler's, in this case, Martin Fowler's book. Inline method or inline function. That's the recipe, and so I'm okay with that because I followed the steps. All right, so that's one. What's next? This right there. Let's see if we can't just This is yucky. The last one I got lucky with copying and pasting because it had no return. This one returns the closure container. And so the copy and paste is going to have to do some cleanup. Eek. All right, let me grab Fowler's book. Not because I doubt myself, but I want to see if there's some. I always want to keep learning. I'll be right back. Martin Fowler refactoring. I look up in the show you big here. List of refactorings in the opening inside cover. I look for inline function 115. It tells me so I can look it up. So nice. Find 115. And I look for the mechanics. Check that this isn't a polymorphic method. It's not. Find all the callers. There's one. Replace each call with the function's body. Yeah, unfortunately, I guess there's no nifty way. There may be a nifty way through some trickery. I don't know. I'm just going to get back into it. We're just going to be brute force here because JetBrains, I love you, but you're making me cry. All right, so I'm going to put it above the call to it so that I can get sort of shove things around here. Right? That's the return, and this is what I want it to assign to, like that. So I should now be able to delete those and run tests. Great. And last step is then to get rid of that. And here's another inline method. And here's something I'm starting to use more, which is, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. So let me do that again. All right. Repeating those steps. Paste, which is yucky because it has a return right here and the let equals right here. So I get rid of the return. I copy the let closure container equal in, and then delete, run tests, and then I can delete the method, and that completes the inline. And this is where we were. All right, so another nice thing about app code, as much as I'm beating up on them this time, I'm a little frustrated, but I still love ya, is the ability to quickly repeat commit messages. You could split the last line of the method before inlining and ignore the return line. Let me see if I follow what you mean. Split the last line. Oh, I see. You mean well, let's try it. Let's try it. I think I follow you. So it's like, okay, let equal. Unfortunately, if I paste now into here, oops, wrong copy. It ends up funny because maybe it's still okay. Maybe this is a little better because now I can say, okay, I want to move this line down to the return and then join it. Oh, what's join? Join. What's join? Control Shift J. Hey, I am doing join there. Okay, that is a little better. That is a little better. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to reformat that. Make sure we're still okay. I still have to delete it again. Thank you for teaching me something new. That's what I wanted to learn. You could feel I wanted to lean into that, so you know me well. All right, so what I was going to say about the commit messages is that there is a history, which I can get to with Control M, and I'm using this a lot these days. It looks really crazy long when it has the template in there, but if I just select it, you can see it chose the last one. So usually what I do is when I know what I want, I just type it like that. And then if I need it again, I can pull it up really quick just by saying, go to the history, select it. I did an inline, boop, and I don't even have to type inline method anymore. All right. Welcome to other folks who have joined. People come and go, I know, and that's, hey, buffer, 0 times 1. Good to see you. Inline is done. So this is done, and this is done, and I'm not sure that there's anything to do here because of how we switched to the checklist. Let's just quickly go back and confirm that this is fine. Yeah, I think those are gone, so I'm just going to delete them. That's funny. All right, so this one is done. And moving up, that means this part is done. Yay. Call class methods as self-dot. Oh gosh, look how close we are to finishing the alert verifier. This is a note I made a while back. Let's see where we have some class methods or statics. And have a look around. Like this. That's a class method, but it's still defined in oh, why is this still defined in Objective-C? I guess we haven't gotten there yet. That's an interesting discovery. I'm not going to do that yet. I want to stick to anything that's fully in Swift. And so what do we have? We've got other parts of the UI alert action. Let's see if there's any class. That's the only class method here, and that is, well, maybe I can. Here's a question. Does this work? And is this helpful? Let's find out. Okay, it's fine with that. Well, so I bet you this will be okay too. Buffer, do you have any experience on how to write a resume summary for a non-experienced developer? Been programming for almost 5 years as a hobby and know I want to land my job. This is where I invite you other seasoned developers to chime in with your thoughts and comments to help buffer out. You know, I definitely highlight your thing. Now, here's the tip. There are basically two types of resumes styles. One is a timeline style where it's and the other is a topical style. The timeline style is really good for somebody with a long history, somebody old, because then I can say, oh, I was here, and this is what I did at each in each job. When you don't have that, then don't use that style. Like don't have it chronological. Instead, look up how to arrange your resume in a topical fashion. And so this would be like, right? Talk about, really focus on what you've done as a hobbyist and highlight that. I hope that helps. That's my quick answer. Anyone else got some thoughts, any opinions there to help buffer? But that's the thing. You may want to do a quick search for this. Look up chronological versus topical resume. All right, so what do you folks think about self-dot? Self-dot is fairly new to Swift, but I'm liking it more and more because it feels more like what I would do in Objective-C. Okay, I'm showing my age here, which is like I want to talk to whatever I am part of, the class I am in, whatever it is. Let's keep going here. In fact, you are very welcome. Let's look for UI alert action dot. It may not apply to everything. Like, will it apply to this? I kind of doubt it, but let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, self dot it communicates something. All right, these are good. Let me check these in, and I would call this a provable refactoring. How about like that? So we've done UI alert action. This one. Well, let's keep going. Here I'm looking for UI alert controller dot. So I still want to go one at a time because of that experience. Like here. Oh, that did work. Because it's not a it's not whatever we had in that last case. Oh, style is an enum there. I want to be a little more careful than going through and doing blanket. I could go through and do them all and see if I have any errors. Let me do that. And here's an error. So I'll just revert that line. Let's look for other errors. Here's one. I'm looking in the right margin for red. Still red here. Ah. There we go. And let's give it a whirl. It's good. All right, so here I'm going to commit, but I'm going to repeat the last message because I'm doing the same thing, it's just in a different file. UI alert, action UI alert, and UI view controller. Let's do that. I see no red, so let's compile. Okay, that did save time. So I was a little too cautious, but this is part of what I do, and what I encourage you to do is, be safe, but keep adjusting, keep learning. There's a balance between taking small steps to be always safe, and then taking a big step to save time, and you take a bigger step until you fall down on your face, and then it's like, oh, shoot. Revert, try again, back to smaller steps. So it's an adjustment. I'm happy with this. I'll repeat that, and we are good. And that is as far as we have come. My gosh, look at us flying by. This is now done, and so I think Alert Verifier is done. Woo-woo! Pause and take it in. Ah. Great news. And by the way, last time we had a little discussion about how Swift Package Manager, it can provide an Objective-C version, or you can have a single package that provides an Objective-C version and a Swift version. The problem is, I don't want two sets of code. I want one set of code. And so that's why it makes sense for me, in this case, to shift everything to a single language. All right, I think I'm going to move everything here onto the easy bits. At least we think they're easy. Boop. Can I get over there? Presentation verifier is next. What's in there? We will find out. Yeah. Here we go. What's in the presentation verifier? Okay, so we've got presentation verifier.swift that already has stuff. But what else do we have? Where's this used? And certainly there is the UI view controller part of capture present. I mean, that's really at the root of what we need to do. So let's quickly look at it. All right, so swizzling, it replaces present view controller with this alternative, which is just down here. And it looks very similar to what we just did, except with no guard clause. That is, it does the load view if needed. It wraps the closure and then posts a notification to the notification center. And that might be it. All right, here we go. So this is present view controller capturing it. And oh, I don't want an arrow. Let me draw out a blank arrow. And now I can use the thing I learned from you folks, which is hold down C to make a connector. There we go. There may be other things. That's why I'm bringing it down as a child. But let's now start to go through our checklist. Extract an Objective-C part. We can do this in the same steps. Why no guard clause? I think there was a guard clause last time. Oh, the guard clause on the alert verifier was something about, the alert verifier only wants to capture alerts. And so it says, is this not an alert? Then don't do anything with it. Let it through. But a presentation verifier makes no such things. It's just like whatever you call present on, it will capture. This is so weird to be done with like this vast part of the tree, of which, there was a lot more because I was in the habit initially of deleting stuff. All right, extract Objective-C part. Let's go back and let's use the technique we found last time. Either that or I copy, maybe I don't, because this is so similar to the other one. Let me take a quick look at UI view controller in Swift, because this is what we have. It's basically everything in here, except with some different, probably some different bits, like this name. I want to be bold. Okay, so this is where kind of gets back to what I just said, which is you move in small steps until you think, okay, I kind of got the feel of this. Let me try to take a bigger step, and we'll see if we fall flat on our faces. If we do, we'll try again in smaller steps. But let me duplicate this whole thing. And call this present view controller capturing it too, I think. If we go back, capturing it, okay. View controller to present an animated flag and a completion. View controller to present, animated flag, and a completion. No guard clause. And the name will be different. The name of the notification will be view controller presented notification. So let's see what we have here. There it is. Seems to build. So in the spirit of moving small, let's check this in first. Now, nothing about this has been proven. I'm trying to move in careful steps, but this is not a provable refactoring. It's not even test supported. What I'm doing is unproven, but it's still a refactoring step. I'm just not, it's a step in the steps. So this is lay down Swift version of capturing present. So now with this here, can I switch to it? This is used. Oh, I need to move the swizzle over. All right, so that's another step. We'll do that next. Let's see if we can't say, it's offering the full name there. All right, so here, drum roll. I am now switching from swizzling to the Objective-C version. I'm now trying to switch it over to the new and unproven Swift version. We'll prove it, or we will reject it, and we are rejecting it. Oh, bummer. Bummer. All right. Before I abandon it, let's take a quick look in here. No, it's not UI alert controller. It's UI view controller. Let's split this and so we can compare. Quick comparison to see if we can spot anything. Otherwise, it's back to the drawing board, and we'll move in small steps. Load view if needed. Notification center default. It wraps the closure in a closure container. It posts the presented thing. View controller to present. User info. Oh, is there something in here that's changed? No, I don't see anything. Okay, I have no idea why this failed. Womp womp. Sad trombone. So let's back out. We will start over. I'm going to first do a reset hard. And let's do more than a reset hard. Let us, in fact, revert this. Now I haven't pushed it, so I can just move the reset the branch to the commit before, make it a hard reset, throw it away, and try again. Wah, so sad. All right. Well, since just to mix it up, hoping that maybe just by changing the order, my brain might discover something better. Let's move the swizzling first. Right, so this right here, let us see if we can't pull this in first. It will be much like this one. In fact, let me duplicate that. I don't know why there's an internal on it. And there's the Objective-C. So we can see swizzle capture, present 2. Oh, wait a second. No, self QCO mock alerts, replace an instance method, present. Oh. No. I'm thinking ahead of myself. This wasn't what we, this isn't where I stumbled last time. It's okay that it looks different. But what is wrong? Oh, okay, that's why it looks different. The name is simpler and swift. And here, present view controller capturing it. We may not be able to get to this until we expose it. You got some lag. How's my... Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully we made it through the internet burp, whatever that was. Blech. All right. Present view controller capturing it. Chances are this has not been exposed. So let me expose it by declaring it in the interface. And that might bring it in. Let's see if this builds. View controller QCO mock. What do I have here? Yeah, that is what I want. Here it is. Oh. Something went wrong in the got an error here. It didn't quite. Oh, it's the nullable thing. Yeah. I've already filed that bug with app code. So let's see if that's happier yet. Not yet. Self as no member. All right. This should be an instance method. Why am I having such trouble with this? Yikes. Yeah, do I need to go the other way after all? Hmm. Hmm. It goes into the .h, which we are bringing in. That's certainly not going to help. Shoot. Well. I feel like I've gone back in time to when we first started this project. I don't know, this is like the 16th or 17th Twitch session on this code. I feel like I've gone back to my very first times. Remember when I was like, how do we swizzle in Swift again? And well, let's have a look. Peek at these are class methods. Class method, instance method. Instance method. Well, this is frustrating. And now I've gone so far down a rabbit hole. You know, something that I'm somewhat tempted to try, but I think it might be a little overkill, is in the limited whip plugin, in addition to the TCR feature, which we can't use, unfortunately, in this project, there is auto revert after 2 minutes if you haven't done anything. If you haven't gotten there, yeah. I totally agree, Mudshark. GRHH. We are spinning in circles. Let's make sure we're still good. All right. Okay. Let's try again and move in this time back to the other side of trying to get the UI view controller, this part here, but let's move this in small steps. All right. Womp womp. Okay, first I'm going to do a slide statements refactoring, which is that. Slide statements is one of the new refactorings listed in the second edition of Fowler's book. And he says he didn't put it in the first edition because he thought it was so, I don't know, trivial and automatic. He didn't even want to mention it, except it happens. It comes up a lot where you say, now I want to move things and then I want to check if things are still good. Now let's, okay. Whoop, whoop, try again. This one is in progress. This one is still to do. We're switching back. And we're going to start with extracting this this part right here. Wah! A little frustrated. All right, so let's extract this. This is going to be post notification about present. And I'll keep the same naming that I've had before. Closure container, fine. All right. So that should be good. Small steps, guaranteeing that we haven't broken anything. Now, let's move this over to the Swift side. There it is for reference. But honestly, I think it's going to look a lot like this. Okay, let me try this now. Because so much about it is the same. Present post notification. All right, it doesn't do any of these things. Oh, the closure container is different. And, right, so notification center posts it. The name is going to be different. It's going to be presented. And this much is good as it was before. I'm getting a little nervous because we tripped over ourselves twice in a row. So much for, gosh, I'll move fast, right? I'm tired of moving in such small steps. Time and time I do that, and time I come back to the small steps. So much for easy. All right. With this here, can we now call it from here? So we've got the old version, we got the new version. Trying to switch to it. Very long and complicated name. Oops. Come on. I'm trying to get rid of this part. Oh. I'm just going to let the template. There. All right. So now we're calling version 2. Okay. So we've gotten back to the failure that I had the first time. But the source of the failure is now narrower. So even though this is frustrating, I did something, whatever the problem is in a smaller space. Like, what is the problem? Okay. How are our eyes? Presented. Each controller to present. This is so strange. I don't see it. Ah! But something in here has broken the sending of the notification, which is what I use to signal from the point of call, which is your code swizzled into my SPI through this notification. Darn it. View controller presenting. Let's take these one at a time. Mock view controller presenting view controller key, or is it present? I mean, I thought that was the same. Animated key and completion key. Okay. The first half hour of this session went so swimmingly. So it's not capital self because we're actually passing the instance, I think. Yes. This is an instance method, instance method, because of the minus. So self refers to the instance, not the class. And it looks so similar. Wait a second. Yeah. Oh. It's not. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Hey! I was so blind. With these long names that are very similar. What tipped me off was comparing it to the one up above and seeing, wait a second, the name is the same, which meant I made a mistake because this should use a different name from this one. Phew! Okay, so the theme of today's session was let's move in bigger steps. Hey, let's go faster by moving in bigger steps until we fall on our faces. What a great demonstration, John. All right, let's clean this up. And oh, just sigh. Ah. All right, we are switching to this. So switch to calling it. This is a capital R because it's test supported. With that in place, I can now delete the old one. Doggone if I just... What a great lesson, John. Unanticipated. All right, so this is what I can now delete, right? Nothing is... We're now calling the present to. We can delete the old present, do a safe delete. Got cocky there, didn't I? And is there anything else? Rename the Swift version. Good thing I have that checklist. Present view controller capturing alert. Oh, it's still the internal one, but I'm just going to get rid of the two. Don't really care about making it a nice name. Oh my gosh. Well, that was painful. But there you have it. That is what happens. I'm a professional. That is what happens when the professional gets cocky and says, hey, so, all right, so let me back up. Way back. For those of you who happen to have watched in the last half hour, I said, or well, actually, for those of you who didn't watch the last half hour, I said, you know what? Okay, we want to shift this over to from Objective-C to Swift, but this time, gosh, the code looks so similar. I'm going to move in big steps because I'm tired of moving in small steps, even though the small steps are safe. And I gave an inadvertent and unplanned object lesson that the small, safe steps are faster. I could have done this. I could have gotten here a lot sooner, even with the mistake of, like, where was that name? And where was it different? I could have gotten here faster. Because I went through 2 false starts, right? I went through the first false start and then it was like, okay, let me just try again, but just go somewhere else. And that didn't work. And we came back and it's like, okay, let's move in smaller steps, the steps I know. And that's where I ran into the same problem, but my scope, my blast radius, as it were, was narrower. The amount, the potential area of where the mistake was smaller. And then it was just a matter of finding it. So, there you have it. This is where there's like, we all have sort of multiple selves, and where now my coach self is telling my I want to move fast self. Hey. So, great lesson there, wasn't it? Listen to your coach, even your inner coach. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining me. My goodness. And this was interesting, and it was good in the end. I should be back on next week. Until then, take care, stay safe, and if you're in the United States, vote. Vote the bastards out. And to get there, we're not at that stage yet. It's just the first round of voting to decide who we are going to vote for. But vote. All right. Till next time. Oh, and if you've watched this far, even through the stuttering of Twitch, subscribe on Twitch. If you watch this on YouTube, subscribe there, hit the bell. Take care.